Hello friends! In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the types of gifts that you can get for skateboarders. I've been skateboarding for around 4 years now, and so I've formed an opinion of what I go through quickest in terms of equipment, and also I've formed an opinion of what types or what brands of things you should buy. And so I thought this would be a fun way to talk about that, and since the holiday season's approaching, if you need to buy gifts for someone, that's also useful. Okay, so here's the tier list, and there are 9 different items that I listed here. Tripods, skate rails, decks, helmets or protective gear, shoes, clothing, trucks, wheels, and then an active service, which I'll get into later. Anyways, I usually script every one of my videos word for word, but today I'm pretty much winging it without a script. We'll see how it goes. So the first one is tripods. You know someone needs a tripod if you look at their footage and it's all from a really low angle and you can sometimes see the ground in it. I'm going to put in some of my early footage and you'll see that I also did not have a tripod when I was starting out. I used to just prop up my phone against a water bottle or a rock and film myself skateboarding. The tripod just makes it so much easier to capture the entire trick and get a better angle. Alright, so this is a tripod that I used to film a bunch of my YouTube videos. I got it off Amazon. I think what you need to look for is something that can range from different heights. So this one can go from around 2 feet tall to around, I guess, 5 feet tall. And that lets you use it at different spots where your camera needs to be at different heights. I personally think that filming stuff and getting clips of yourself skateboarding is one of the most fun parts of skateboarding, which is why I'm gonna put this pretty high at A tier. So the next thing is ramps or rails. I got myself a rail and a ramp, and I think it was money extremely well spent because I would not have learned board slides as well as I have them now if I didn't have my personal rail. I have it in my house actually. Alright, so this is the rail that I always used to have in my car. I got it sometime during the pandemic, and since no one came in my car during the pandemic, this is what was always in my passenger seat. It fits in a normal sized car. You just put the front side in the passenger seat and the back side goes over the middle part of the car into the seat behind the driver. Yeah, I learned board slides because of this, and I would not be as good at rails if I did not buy this, so I totally think it was worth it. And I pretty much had a skate park to bring with me anywhere, and my friends and I could skate it wherever we wanted, so it was tons of fun. And this is my skate ramp that I would always have in the trunk of my car, and I'll put some footage of me skating it in the video. This is a kind of expensive gift, and it only is useful if the skater has a way to transport the rail from their home to wherever they like to skate, so they probably need a car, so I'm giving this one a B tier. The next one is decks. Hands down, I think this is probably one of the best items you can get for a skater. There are a few things to consider here. So first of all, you need to know what size board the skater skates. You can figure this out by measuring their board if you don't want to ruin the surprise. Let me show you an example actually. Sure. Alright, so here's a April deck from my man Andrew. And skate decks are always measured by the width, so how far it is from here to here, the width of the deck. And if you just take the ruler and measure this, you can see this board is an 825, and so the width is measuring at around 8.25 inches. So measure the person's deck to know what size they skate. Even if you get them a board they don't really want to skate, either because the size is wrong or because they don't like the shape, it's still fine because they can hang it on the wall. For example, this one's always hanging on my wall, specifically because it has sentimental value and it looks good. I don't know if I'll ever skate it. Decks always feel really good to get. That's just the best gift that you can get from a friend or from someone. It's like the focal point of your setup. So another thing to mention here is a while ago, I put up this poll asking what skate gear would you appreciate the most as a gift? And out of the options here, decks were by far the highest rating out of 5,000 people. So that's another reason why I think decks are a pretty good gift. I am putting this one in S tier just because you cannot go wrong giving someone a deck as a gift. The next thing is helmets / padding, wrist guards, elbow pads, that kind of stuff. I personally don't disagree with wearing pads. As you'll see in a bunch of my clips, I'm usually wearing wrist guards at least, and helmets if I'm doing rails or something big. But as a gift, if you're trying to give someone a helmet and they don't already wear a helmet, I don't think this is going to be a good gift. And the reason is, I don't think you can convince someone to want to wear a helmet If they saw the value of wearing a helmet and they wanted to wear a helmet, they probably would have already bought one. And that also goes for protective gear like wrist guards and elbow pads, etc. So for this reason, I'm gonna put this one in the lowest tier possible at D tier. Again, not because I don't believe in the value of wearing protective gear, but because I don't think you can convince someone to wear it by giving it to them. Next is shoes. Shoes are pretty important. People go through shoes pretty fast, and if someone's skating beat up shoes and you give them brand new shoes, it's a really good feeling. You know someone needs a new shoe if they have holes in their shoes. And okay, I have an example. Alright, so here's some of my old skate shoes as an example of where the shoe can wear down on. So my pushing foot on the sole always wears through. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a hole that goes all the way through. It would wear a hole in my sock if I kept skating this more. And this is the thing that happens most commonly for me. I have to throw away shoes because this happens. The next thing that happens is on your front foot, the foot that scrapes up the board as you ollie, you will wear down the side, which is right here. So if you see a hole here on the side or a hole here in your friend's shoes, you know they need new ones, and they're really going to appreciate it if you buy them some new ones. You should be buying shoes that are flat soled and shoes that are suede, ideally suede on the side, because that will make this part more durable. I'm going to put shoes in A tier. I think it's a all-around good gift to give someone, and no one would be unhappy if they got new skate shoes. The next one is clothes, and my anecdote here is if I'm wearing a cool outfit or an outfit that I think is cool, first of all, that makes me more confident and makes me skate better. And second of all, it motivates me to land a trick so that I can put it in a video. Also, sometimes I pick out my outfits for specific spots, for specific tricks, because I just envision how the whole thing would look. To figure out what kinds of clothes to get, you should look at the brands that the skater likes. For example, I love Etnies. I always wear Etnies shoes, and so if you got me an Etnies shirt, I like it a lot. I'm gonna put clothes in A tier. I think it's just a pretty good gift to give someone, and there's a bunch of options and a bunch of different brands you can buy someone. Next is trucks. So this is not something that I would get someone as a gift, and the reason is I pretty much never change my trucks. I found one pair of trucks that I really like, which is Indy Hollows 825 width, which matches my board width, and I pretty much stick to them because I've broken them in, they feel good to me, and they pretty much don't wear down. I've never met someone who wore down their trucks all the way. Could happen, but I just don't know anyone who's done it. Also, if you gave me trucks, I wouldn't be super excited. It's just not the focal point of a board, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give this one a C tier. Next is wheels/bearings. Again, kind of similar to trucks, not something I would get super excited about. If you really needed new wheels and bearings, then I guess you might get pretty excited, but otherwise, not really the focal point of the board either. Okay, I have an example of how to know if someone needs new wheels though. Alright, this is my setup. This is a special setup that I have for a specific trick where I needed my wheels to be extra slow. So here are the slowest bearings that I have. Like this one just barely even spins anymore. This is what it should normally look like. It should spin for around, I don't know, 10-ish seconds before it stops. But if you spin someone's wheels and it looks like this, then they're really going to appreciate new wheels and bearings. I would get them together, so get both wheels and bearings. Bearings are pretty much one size fits all. And wheels, I really love Spitfire Formula 4s and Bones STF, so those are the best wheels in my opinion. As for size, I think you can't really go wrong with 54 to 52 millimeter. Wheels and bearings do wear down faster than trucks. I mean, trucks never wear down, but wheels and bearings do wear down. They usually last me 3-ish months before they start to feel slow or before they flat spot. And sometimes people's wheels will just get super tiny because they've just skated them for so long. Like I said, I wouldn't get super excited if I got wheels and bearings as a gift. Overall, I'm just giving this one a C tier. I guess it can be in front of trucks though. Okay, so the last one is not something you would typically think of as a gift. Well, it's not a physical item that you can get someone. It's an act of service. And what I had in mind here is if someone really likes getting clips, you could offer to film them. You could be like, hey, think of a spot, think of a trick you really want to get, and I will film you until you land it. I personally would really appreciate this because I like getting clips and I always feel bad for wasting people's time when they're filming me, especially if I'm going to be trying that trick for hours. But if someone told me, I'll film you until you get it, then I would not feel bad about wasting their time, and I'd probably land it faster because I'd have less pressure on me. Like I said, getting clips of myself skateboarding for video parts is one of the most fun parts of skateboarding in my opinion, which is why I will put this one in S tier. So that was it for the tier list. We had decks and offering to film someone in S tier. We had tripod, shoes, and clothes in A tier, skate rails or skate ramps in B tier, trucks and wheels C tier, and then helmet/protective gear in D tier. I hope this gave a little bit of context into what kinds of equipment skaters go through and how fast we go through them. And if you do need to buy a gift for someone last minute, I think you cannot go wrong with a new deck. Just measure the size of the person's board, go into a skate shop and ask the person at the counter for a deck of that size and pick out something that looks cool. And I think that will be a very, very solid gift. So we made it to the end of the video. I've personally always been a little scared of talking to the camera just because it's something that I have never done before and it's a little uncomfortable. But I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoyed it. And have fun skating, everyone. Alright, this time it's actually happening. I'm recording my video.